We're live, live in the flesh. What up? What up? What up? Just trying to get my life together here. Got to get my second workout in for the old 75 hard. I'm gonna burn one. If you don't know, now you know. Trying to get some work in. Trying to get some work in. Just trying to figure some shit out. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting ready. Okay. Trying to figure this shit out for old tickety tockety. See if we can go live on there too. Fuck it. You know? Hmm. Ridiculous. So yeah, 75 hard. Second workout of the day. Second workout of the day. Gotta get it in. If you're not familiar with 75 hard and you're on my channel, I don't know how this is the case. But you gotta know. You gotta know what it is. 75 hard, 2 workouts, one fucking outdoors, one, both of them 45 minutes, can't be next to each other, got to be at least 3 to 4 hours apart. Gallon of water, which I am a little behind on. I'm a little behind. I could be drinking more water. I should have more water, but I don't at the moment. I will when I will in just a moment when I start working out. Where is my fucking water is the question. Are you even allowed to cuss on TikTok? I've never been live on TikTok. But here we are. Oh, there's my water. I don't know exactly. Okay, so because I am getting what the fuck? TikTok universe. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. My second workout, I got to get on my treadmill. Cool thing about it is that if you listen to episode 104 of my podcast, Let's Talk About It, it is up on Spotify and podcast and everywhere else that you can get these fucking episodes of a podcast from. Right now, I'm putting my little sandbags in my weight vest because I have not. I took them out a while ago so I could just have them in my pack while I was rucking rather than having like the actual weight vest. Sometimes I switch back and forth between an actual like just the weight vest. Other times I like to have my backpack on with a what you call it? Like just some of the sandbag weights that go in the fucking vest. So that way I can carry other shit like my water, fucking food, snacks, But there's a couple on the backside. So it's a 40-pound vest. I did an ultra marathon last month. It was my first one. It was a trail race, 3-7 project. You can listen to the After Action Report, episode 1 and 4. Let's talk about it. You should. 3-7 project. If you're not familiar with Chad, chili and cornbread and Blake biscuit, well, get familiar. I had this race. It was pretty damn good for somebody that's never done an ultra marathon before. Okay. What's up, Giovanni? What's up, EU? Did this ultra marathon. It was on a trail. It was a 4-mile loop in an 8-hour time span. My goal for my first ultra marathon was 8 laps, 1 an hour, 4 miles on a trail. Should not be fucking that crazy at all, you know? So I went out there, had a great group of guys that we were all racing together. You know, a bunch of Christian fellas, which is cool. It added a really neat community element to the race. You know, I'm in recovery ish. So, you know, I've been clean for 14 years from heroin addiction. I've had other substance issues throughout my life, but I've got a regimen that works for me. You know, a little bit of, how do you say, Cali clean. Anyway, one of the struggles I had on this race was going uphill. I did not use any trekking poles, and I probably would have had a much better time and been able to get more loops on the trail if I had used the trekking poles, but I didn't train with them, and I thought because I felt good that, you know, I didn't need them. I didn't need any extra shit. 40 pounds. I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna get on the treadmill, max incline. Be ready for the race next year with the same folks. You know, what's up, Nicole? So, Z-May, you know, just, you know, trying to get ready. You know, going uphill, my time was pretty whack. It was basically like a whole mile climb. Oh, shit, I didn't, I unplugged my treadmill earlier on accident. So it was a 1 mile climb. The first mile was chill. Second mile, the whole mile was just an uphill climb. The last quarter of it was pretty steep, and you probably could have actually bear crawled up the hill at that point. It's on the Pinhoti Trail. This is really annoying. I'm trying to plug in while I have a 40-pound vest on, trying to stand on my tippy toes. So this climb was mad obnoxious. But the cool thing was, like, the very top of that hill, it was like pretty much the next 2 miles, with the exception of like a section, or like one section, it was pretty much all downhill. So, you know, my plan, walk the uphills, run the downhills, and, you know, try to truck along as quick as I can on any of the flats. You know, my uphill time got progressively slower, especially in those later laps. For anybody that's just joining, it was a trail race. I did 32 miles, 3-7 project. It's the fam, Chad Wright and the boys. Chad did 40 miles. I only did 32. You know, I had a couple stops where on the, what do you call it? Like at the aid stations where I kind of was fucking around and probably should have moved a little faster. But I did not. So that is what it is. Oh, shit. I don't know. Hard hat on there for some reason. So yeah, so now I'm trying to train, put the treadmill up to max incline. Oh, that's as high as it goes.
And I'm gonna truck this shit with my weight vest on so that I can be prepared. You know, those later laps, my legs were feeling heavy. I mean, literally just moving so slow. Thank God I met this dude early on in the race. It was probably my first lap up, honestly. Him and I were wearing the same shoes. Speedlands, baby. Oregon made. Cam Hanes. If they're good enough for Cam Hanes, man, they're good enough for me. They'll do, that's for sure. So I was going up this hill, and you know, my thought process is walk on my toes on the uphill. It's the natural way. You know, it feels good. He said, bro, you want your feet to be flat, heels hitting the ground so that you don't blow your calves out. Which thank God he told me that, because I was very aware on the uphill not to blow my calves out. And he said, take shorter steps than you think you need to. And so if you know Chad Wright or listen to Chad, his podcast, you know he'll kind of fuck with you. And so I went, I was coming in from the third lap, right, making good time. I was like 3 laps in, 2.5 hours. And I see Chad come in. They got like the documentary crew with him. You know, and see, my history with Chad, I did one of his training missions where we were walking through the Coyote Trail. Actually, a portion of this trail race was on the same trail. And I went with a torn MCL. We ended up hiking almost 50 miles in 24 hours straight, no sleep. And when I tell you that, like, I was like a tin man, dude, I needed oil in my joints. I had no ability to move. You know, my one knee was hurt then. My other knee started hurting from trying to compensate for, you know, making up for it. I was literally crying on the trail. I had to think about my kids and what it would have been like telling them, you know, and they're like, Daddy, how was your trip? And I had been like, oh, Daddy quit. Yeah, right. You know, so I had a little bit of a mission here. You know, I had to make a statement. I wanted to prove some shit to myself. And some of the people that were around me on that trip and saw me as a, you know, down as a broke dick dog. You know, so I'm at this third lap. Chad comes in. He's got his little documentary crew. I say, yo, Chad. And he looks, and I could see he looks shocked that I was there ahead of him. And I said, yo, you didn't tell me this was the trail we were going to be on. I said, Pinhoti boys, Turkey Trail gang. We gobbling while they squabble. While they squabbling, we gobbling, eating them up. And I could just see the look in his eye. If you know anything about Chad, that's a competitive motherfucker. And so I go, and at the end of the first mile loop, there's a little, like, you go through this little field, and then you start the climb. So I was pretty much walking that second mile almost in its entirety. And right as I'm getting there, about to slow it up to a walk, I hear, hey, Elliot, in this fucking wild little Georgia accent. They got some of them southern dudes got the craziest accents. You know what I mean? And so we rocked out, went to, you know, and I hear him say, hey, Elliot. And I look back and I see him. He's like just getting to the field. And he said, you're moving pretty good. I look back. He's halfway through the field. You know, he starts gaining up on me. And I'm like trotting along. You know, I wanted to walk, but I knew I couldn't walk. Chad right there. I had to keep moving. He said, you're moving pretty good, Elliot. I said, Chad, don't start with that shit. You know, he likes to fuck with you, trying to get in your head. Ex-Navy SEAL. You know? Them dudes are familiar with warfare. Highly recommend checking out his documentaries on YouTube. One of them's free. You can watch 1 Mile Out. He did the Copacabana 250. I'm only 5 minutes in already. This 40-pound heavy. You know, I got my little. You know, I'll feel good once I start moving. It's been a little while because I've been training for Ace and just like trail running. I really haven't been on my ruck shit. So adding the extra weight will get me to the point of how I was feeling on those later laps at the race. That's my goal. Do some uphill training and really try to like be prepared for those climbs. You know, like I said, I wasn't really comfortable using trekking poles outside of like on the uphill, but I saw these people had like an attachment for their belt, and their poles like unfolded real quick, and I saw some people like whip their poles out, fucking trek up the hill, power through, and then you know, after that, just load them back up and run the downhills with them attached to their little pack, and it was like really neat. Something like that could definitely be beneficial. So I felt like running with them on the downhill. Every time I thought about running with, you know, going uphill with them, it's great. But I was like, I don't have to run downhill with them. I really didn't want to do that. I was feeling free on those downhills. You know, I was moving. Like literally, I mean, there were some pretty technical points, but, you know, where I'm at in PA, I get some good training on these, on some trails that are pretty similar, at least some of these rocky technical parts. And so the downhills were great. I just was hauling ass. You know, and I'm not like some crazy dude. I'm mad regular. You know, so like these are just some things that I just train for. I train jiu-jitsu all the time. Yeah, I got some athletic ability. I lift a little bit, but like running a marathon, I never even wanted to do. And honestly, I got roped into this one, you know, with like about a month out. Definitely not nearly as trained as I should have been, but going out there, accomplishing my goal, 32 miles, you know, it felt great. And I really am grateful that I was able to get out there and do that, because it's really kind of inspired me to get after more. You know, I'm thinking about possibly doing the Georgia Duel this summer, at the end of the summer, I guess it's fall technically. Or maybe doing a race in Jersey with a buddy of mine. It's the same weekend, but honestly, I think I'm going to do Master Worlds Jiu-Jitsu tournament. I need to see where I'm at with that. I've been obsessed the last like 5 years with jiu-jitsu, and you know, it's really been a big part of my life, big part of my recovery journey, especially since I'm not really involved in a 12-step program anymore. I still apply the principles daily. You know, this is the shit that's important to do. You know, plus all this physical shit that I've been doing, trying to run marathons, jiu-jitsu every day, lifting weights, you know, trail running, rucking. These are all things that not only improve the mental and physical, but, you know, our spiritual condition as well. You know, it changes our perspective. You know, being out in the woods for 8 hours, running a 4-mile loop, you know, just feeling grateful, sun shining down. You know, that's how that shit goes. What's up, Ashley? What up? If you're just joining, talking about a trail race I just did. You know, I'm 14 years off of heroin. They don't even have heroin anymore. It's all fentanyl. You know, I'm in my own recovery world. You know, California clean, little weed, little mushrooms. You know, that's a topic we can get on. Fucking psychedelics. I don't have a problem with people doing them. I used to think everybody should do them. Now I'm skeptical because of how much that shit is pushed into the mainstream now. And maybe that's just my own shit from growing up in a time where that was not socially acceptable. Not in the same way that it is now. I mean, how many brunch women go through and take little microdoses? I have someone close to me that ain't never done anything like that before. And fucking one of her little snotty friends tells her that she's taking mushroom microdoses. She's asking me about the shit. Never done a real dose, which, hey, obviously you can't predict what somebody's experience is going to be like under the influence of psychedelic mushrooms. You can kind of predict it, I guess. I know for me, it's always pertinent stuff like setting, knowing where I'm at, having some things in place prior so that when I'm in the thick of it, I can easily distract myself, or have some shit to really, work on while I'm getting after it. And this incline 40-pound vest already not feeling great. Go ahead and drop the top, let the head breathe, get some water. Almost done my gallon, doing 75 hard. This is workout number 2. If you were in here earlier, I didn't get to do jiu-jitsu. I teach kids class. It's awesome. Some of them kids are really fucking cool. I have a podcast, Let's Talk About It, episode number 103. I talk about competition I recently did with my kids, and not only coaching my kids and myself, but coaching a bunch of these other kids, that I teach at the gym, and watching them go through it at a tournament, the emotional highs and lows of winning and losing, and just the heart. Man, that shit was a sight to see. Episode 103, I get into it in depth. 104, talk about the race I just did. 102, I interviewed my buddy Shane Truitt. He just wrote a book at Tradecraft Photo. This is Instagram. Wrote a book called Fade Into Reach. If you're into like a Cormac McCarthy kind of style, my man Shane, that's very heavily Cormac influenced. It's a post-apocalyptic story. I did an interview with him. He's a guy I've known 20 plus years. And, we had a good time. Episode 101, I busted down some breakdowns of tree for many years. Been an advocate and even a political prisoner in regards to the plant. And, so I have some interviews on there with cannabis company owners. Peter Tosh, the king, Mr. Legalize It himself. I interviewed his daughter, Nyambe. And that was a pretty crazy interview because she was telling me about her brother, another one of Peter Tosh's kids, that he got arrested with weed, like a lot of it, subjectively speaking, and got fucking killed in jail over like some dumb shit or not, some packs of noodles or something. Highly recommend that. Talk about my 75 hard, live hard journey. I've completed the entire Live Hard program. 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So if you're into like non-traditional recovery pathways, personal development, spiritual fucking journey, trying to discover God and figure out my beliefs, as a father, what the hell do I teach my kids? You know what I mean? This shit's fucking ridiculous. I'm only 15 minutes in. You know, this shit is just one step at a time, man. One step at a time. No matter what. We don't quit. But I'm feeling fucking tired already. That's the whole point, though. You know, part of the reason why I felt like I was successful with that race, my training, you know, I would go train jiu-jitsu, get fucking exhausted, and just go run. And it'd be slow and shitty, and, you know, I didn't want to run, but I was really not looking to get better at running in that training, just better and more, not necessarily better, but back in that mindset of like gritty, determined, right? Trying to not let any of this shit get in the way, right? Like utilize some mental toughness while being out and about. And, you know, that shit came into play. You know, my whole point training right now, I'm on max incline on the, what do you call this thing? Treadmill. And got a 40-pound vest on. Trying to get in the zone. You can't see it on TikTok here, but you can on YouTube. My treadmill has like a trekking pole attachment. Honestly, I should do a crosswalk workout. Okay. Yeah, start. See what this show's all about. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm doing a specific workout using these like trekking poles that are built in to the treadmill because I want to go back to this race next year and be a contender. I mean, I was out of 250, you know, I was number 27, which for me is great. I really was trying to break the top 200, top 100, I mean. And got 27th, that was great. But I want to be in the top 10, top 5. You know, I want to win. And there's you know, okay, so this crosswalk workout is not as inclined as I just had it. But, you know, okay, I think maybe I will do it this way, even though I wanted to do all incline. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just do all incline again. That was my goal. Trying to make it hard on myself. You'll see me as the incline gets higher, my head will get taller. You know, we're getting back up there. I have the headphones in, so it should be noise reducing, but you can hear the lowly old Westlow Pro crosswalk trainer is moving and grooving. It's moving. Have any of y'all ever done anything? I'm talking a lot. I'm interested in you. Have you ever done psychedelic mushrooms? Have you ever been addicted to drugs? Whoa, we are moving awfully fast here. Have you ever, you know, been a dad? You know, a parent? You struggle with any of these things? Let's fucking get after it. You know, I've had to learn the hard way. Yeah, I've been an entrepreneur the last 7 years. I quit my job right before my first daughter was born. And I've been grinding through it ever since. You know, people ask me, well, what do you do for a living? What do you do? So I'm dad, number one job. Everything else is to facilitate that. You know, and honestly, it's been to my detriment at some points. I really should probably have done some things differently. But at the same time, I really don't feel like I would go back and change it because it's not all just about money. You know, and I've had many opportunities to make some more money, but just over the last few years, I've had to ask myself, is this profitable? You know? And not is it profitable in a monetary sense, but is this profitable to my spirit? You know? Is this spiritually profitable? And there's a lot of things where, unfortunately, I'd have to answer no. And so I have let myself be broke, struggle through certain shit, rather than do some shit that could put me in a bad position. You know, put me in jeopardy. You know, losing my kids, whatever. You know, I'm a single dad. Got my kids, you know, half the time. Got a cool, amicable relationship with their mom. You know, sucks the family split, but it is what it is. You know, what the fuck, dude? Crosswalk. I'm not doing all this extra speed while I'm fucking getting after it with the text. Damn it! Oh, what's up, Black Heart? What up, Shayna? Shauna? I don't know. I have a hard time seeing my vision. Looking at a screen all the fucking time. God damn. I got small screen here. I got medium screen there. Large screen upstairs. Another medium screen over there. Oh, man. Woo! So, yeah. Trying to think what else is interesting. Recovery. It's been a wild journey. Definitely been in a lot of situations that probably shouldn't have made it out of. Clean. I'm not a role model. I'm just a regular dude who fucks up a lot and tries to keep grinding it out, man. You know, keep trying to find a way. So close. Working on, you know, I do landscaping. Always been a fan of cutting the grass. You know what I mean? Get after the bit doing some various other things, some arbitrage flipping, retail stuff, you know, finding stuff at a cheap price, selling it for a better price. Making a little coin, a little payola, a little cash over, you know. Working on a recovery center, looking to kind of change the game up. You know, I just get real fucking sick of like people methadone, fucking Suboxone on these medication-assisted treatments, which is great. You know, if you're looking for quality of life improvement, finding ways to better your life as an addict. I mean, obviously, those things are still a crutch. But what really gets me is that there's no place in that world for, you know, like medication-assisted treatment using cannabis. You know, I mean, that's been very helpful to me. And while it may not be for everyone, right, the current options are not for everyone either. You know, I didn't want to get on methadone. I wanted to get off the shit. I never want to go to rehab again. You know, I detoxed in jail. I hated it. Never want to do that again. You know, so it just is what it is. You know, and I really hate that the recovery industry is really like such a what do you call it? Like an extension of Big Pharma. You know, it's like, hey, get off the street drugs and get on our drugs. That's what we want. No, fuck it. Get off the fucking street drugs. Get off the dope. Get on our dope. You know, take this one, take that one, take this one, take that one. I mean, half these doctors aren't fucking, don't have any clue what the hell's going on. You know, and I think that such a big part of like healthcare is really the preventative element. I mean, hey, you know, we want you to get clean. Come to our program. We're gonna be fucking putting people in. It's gonna be like a fight club house, you know. Been teaching you jiu-jitsu. You know, be going out on some hikes, some rucks. You know, some shit to really challenge each other. I'm basically about to be like a modern day Tony Perkins, but instead of fat kids, it's gonna be fucking grown ass men who can't stop shoving needles in their arm or fucking pipe up to their mouth. You know what I mean? This spot that we're gonna open is It's honestly kind of in the hood. Definitely an area that needs it. And I'm excited to get in there, get my hands dirty, get nice and gritty with these dudes, and hopefully help a bunch of people get another day clean. Bust my own ass to fucking do that shit every day, one day at a time. This shit requires vigilance, discipline, fortitude, grit, determination, all that shit. To fucking keep going. This shit is fucking hard. Some days it's like, well, goddamn, what the hell am I supposed to do? How the hell am I gonna stay clean? How am I gonna go another fucking day without fucking putting something in me? Well, you fucking pray. You fucking go out and you do something hard. And you fucking kick your own ass. You do some shit to feel some self-worth, some value. Right? When I fucking got clean, I was so weak and sick. I just fucking, I couldn't even shoot a basketball. Tried to shoot a basketball, mid-range shot, bricked it. Not even bricked it, airballed it. Short, like 3 feet. I just got off the basketball court, man, and went to the gym, started doing some fucking push-ups. Whew. Well, this is about the end of it for me. I'm fucking not staying on here the whole time because my phone is about to die. So I hope that you had a great fucking day. Watch this shit. I'll show you later. Once more. Ouch.